Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney and I've been a reseller on Poshmark since 2018. And today we are going to attempt my first thrift with me video. So earlier this week I went thrifting, and in the middle of my thrift trip I was like, you know what? Let's record it and see how it goes. I can report that that was by far the most awkward thing I've ever done in my entire life. Everyone stared, it was terrible, but I did it. And honestly, I don't think that the next time would be as awkward. I definitely need to work on mounting my phone. At this point, I literally just piled clothes and items in the basket and set my phone on top of it to record. So I apologize about the quality and the angle and things like that. But you know, honestly, it was just in the moment. It wasn't really planned. And I figured we'd figure it out as we went. So I'm gonna take you guys back to earlier this week when I was thrifting, show you guys a few things that I found, some things I picked up, some things I didn't pick up, and then I'll meet you guys back here for the haul. So I paid $155.52. And let's see if it tells me how many items I picked up. It looks like I purchased 28 items. So whatever that divided up for my average cost of goods is, I'll put on the screen here. And we will go ahead and jump into the haul. And I'm actually in Charlotte right now for Flipcon, the reseller networking event that is put on by Harry Tornado, Josh and Haley. And today was the end of day 2, and it was absolutely incredible. I've learned so much, and it's just really nice to be in a room with like-minded people that do the same thing as you. Like today we broke out for lunch, and I set my stuff on a table, ran to the restroom, went and got my food, and when I got back to the table where I set my things, I was pleasantly surprised to find that Ginger Marvin were sitting next to me, and we spent the entire lunch talking about things that we find and bolos and our processes and things that we've learned. And like, honestly, I was just trying to be a sponge and absorbing as much information as I possibly could, because, who knows if I'll ever see them again in person. So yeah, I mean, it's been really fun to just be around people that kind of speak my language. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and jump into the haul. So I do not sell hard goods, ever. Really. But when I saw this, I checked the price to make sure that I thought it was worth it, and it was only $4.99. And batteries worked, there was no corrosion, no anything. So I've seen a lot of people talk about how good the TI calculators can do. This one is a TI 84 Plus, and it has all the pieces, all the covers, all the battery cover. So I think I looked up comps, and I want to say they were around like 50 or 60. I'll put the comps on the screen here for you, but I'm going to give this a go. And I've been saying that I need to branch out to eBay, and maybe I'll start with this piece. So we'll see how that does. Y'all hold me accountable. If I haven't talked about listing that, or you haven't seen it on eBay or Poshmark, call me out. Next up, we've got Habitat, which is just a good bread and butter brand. It's kind of like an art to wear piece. Their pieces are really unique, very quirky, artsy. Some of their pieces can feel a little bit lag and look, which I know I've talked on here about before. This is a size medium, if I didn't already say that. 3/4 length sleeve. These are just solid sellers for me. They don't go for a ton, maybe like $30 or $35, but they typically do flip pretty quickly. All right, so this, I've talked about this brand before. I do get a lot of consignment pieces in this brand. The brand is Show Me Your Moo, and this is an extra small. This one I believe was the color of the week, yeah. So it was half off of $6.24, and it's just an off the shoulder, little flowy, like summer top, semi-sheer. I have to wear like a bandeau. It could be a cute like beach cover up. So being an extra small, it probably won't move quickly, but should sell for, maybe around 25 bucks. This brand is incredibly expensive retail. The brand is Ann Mashburn. I only know about this brand because one of my best friends that I do consignment for consigned a Nua tags. I think it was like baby alpaca or something. It was a beautiful like knee length or midi length dress with a tie, retailed for an incredible amount of money. And Resell's decent. It doesn't hold its value in full, but definitely not a bad flip. This piece did have a little bit, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, it has a little bit of makeup on it. I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but it's definitely on the surface, and I saw that in the store. So I still picked it up anyways, and I'm just gonna give it a quick wash with that Miss Mouth's Messy Eater Spray and hope that that comes out. This is a brand I've seen a few times. I don't think I've ever picked it up. The brand is Mott 50, and this is one of the brands that's known for having sun protection in the fabric. So it's supposed to be better for your skin. This one was half off of $6.24, which is why I picked it up. I don't think I would have paid the full $6.24 for this, but because it was only around $3, I thought it was worth it. People, I'd say probably 10 years ago, when we were very much in like the tanning bed era, would never wear that. But I feel like over the last 10 years, like as a society, we've moved towards more of a like protecting your skin, taking care of your skin, like skincare, that kind of thing. So those pieces I feel like sell better now than they would have back then. So I don't know, I've never sold it. We'll see how it does. Comps look decent. I want to say like it was between like 35 and 40 maybe, somewhere around there. I'll put it on the screen for you. This was a fun find. I think you probably saw this in the thrift with me. I very rarely go through tank tops because the return on them is just not there. But, our thrift stores in Atlanta are so big that unless I'm spending like 6 hours in one store, I'll never make it through every section. So I kind of just have to prioritize which sections I'm gonna go to so that, you know, I don't run out of time. So I typically, you know, always go through the long sleeve tops, the short sleeve tops, denim, sweaters, outerwear, dresses. The sections that I typically would rank in like the lower priority for me is skirts, tank tops, sleepwear. I know there is probably some money to be made in sleepwear, but in my experience in our Atlanta thrifts, they're just not great. You know, I found, I think Barefoot Dreams once, and honestly, like I've gotten to the point where I can spot that out. So I will glance over the sleepwear section, and if I see the Barefoot Dreams like material, I'll go look at it to see if it's Barefoot Dreams, but I won't go through every single piece in the sleepwear. If you have plenty of time, or if you have smaller thrift stores, like it may be a different story for you. I'm not saying that this is the best way to do it. It's just what I do. You know, to each their own. What works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. So anyway, so this day I just happened to be like, I think the line was long, and I was like, I'm gonna wait for that to die down. I'll waste the same amount of time, you know, going through another section. So I was just flipping through tank tops, and I think you guys saw it in the Thrift With Me clip, but I found this brand. I've seen people talk about it doing really well in dresses. I am hoping that this tank top will do well. It appeared, when I looked it over for the first time, to be flawless. There is a little tie here. I think maybe the previous owner, it was a little bit too long, so they tied it up so it's shorter. But it is like a beaded, like more substantial tank top. It's not just like a flimsy little tank. I didn't see any missing beading on it, which is great and honestly surprising. And it was half off, so half off of $4.24. So we'll see what comps say for that. I mean, it is still a tank top, so I don't think it'll, you know, bring in a fortune, but we'll see. So this was an exciting find. Earlier in my thrift trip, went through like the smalls, the mediums, and like a little bit of the larges of the dresses. And then honestly, my arms just got tired. So I like redirected and went to another section. And I was like, if I have time, I'll come back and finish. And I almost didn't because I was so tired. I was at the store for probably 4 hours. And I honestly just wanted to go home. But I was like, no, I'm gonna finish the dresses because I'm gonna you know, get home and wonder what I left. And I'm so glad that I did, because I found this Alambika, I assume that's how you say that, maxi dress. So this tag looks cheap. Honestly, the pieces aren't that special that I found, but this brand can do really well. Or I say that, I'm gonna put comps on the screen. The last time I comped this brand, it was doing well. Hopefully the comps are still showing the same, but I will put it on the screen. So definitely go by what the comps on the screen say, not what I say, because I am gonna be doing comps after I film this. Yeah, it's a substantial piece. It's a long sleeve maxi dress. The fabric is pretty thick and it's a nice brand. So hopefully we'll do well with that one. Also, in that last little section of dresses that I went through, I found this. And it was really pretty, you know, nothing like too special, but it definitely felt like it was made well, not Madewell the brand, but like made like a higher end brand. Like, you know, more time and thought had gone into the creation of it. So, you know, it felt nice, but there was no brand tag up here. So I think I've told you guys in the past, when something feels nice and they don't have a tag, I immediately go down to the fabric tag, because occasionally it can have a brand on it. And this was the front. So it had a size, which was good, but it didn't have a brand. But I flipped onto the back, and sometimes on the bottom at the back, it can say like the company's registered name, and I saw that this said Tory Burch on it. So I did a Google lens search, and sure enough, this is a Tory Burch dress. Comps looked really good. My last Tory Burch dress that I sold it was a maxi, it wasn't a midi like this one, but it was a maxi, but it was like severely flawed, and I think it sold for, what do I want to say, $225. That sounds really high. But I want to say it was much higher than I expected to get, especially because it was flawed. I'll put the comps of it on the screen. It was like an orange maxi dress that was a consignment piece for my friend. And I was honestly just so happy with that sale, and I was so surprised. I was like not expecting that at all. So anyways, hopefully this one does really well too. See how it does. But fortunately, like you saw, the size is down on the cure tag, so I don't have to go off measurements, which is always a good thing. All right, this is a new to me brand. It does not have 100% sell-through rate, but the comps looked really good. It is Noriko Maeda, probably butchered that. Size 40, so I assume that's European sizing, but it's this really cute, really classy, just shift dress. Probably knee length, a little past knee length. There's a little bit of pilling on it, but other than that, it seemed to be in great condition. Just a solid back with a zip closure. But yeah, it's just, the fact that it was in European sizing and the brand name sounded expensive to me. I looked it up and comps looked really good. So we'll see how that does. I think you guys saw this in the Thrift With Me portion, but I did find a pair of boyish denim. They're definitely a smaller size. Let's see what they are. Oh, they're a 26. That's not that bad. They look a lot smaller than a 26. Like I was guessing 24, but we'll put measurements just to be safe. But they are this black distressed denim. It is a skinny, which, we've talked about isn't the best thing in the world, but this brand sells really well for me. I've sold a couple pieces from it. I want to say I sold a pair of shorts and a pair of jeans, and both sold really well and quickly. So we'll see how those do. This is a brand I don't pick up that often, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it being like a good bread and butter brand. So I figured I'd give it a try. The main reason I picked it up is because it's a size 16 and the brand is Not Your Daughter's Jeans. But the size is 16 and it was new with tags. And it has all of like the retail and style information and everything that I need to make the listing easier on there. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I only paid $6.24 for them. They are a boot cut and they're a solid black. And the comps for, this is definitely like, it's not a denim. It's like it reminds me a lot of Beta brand, like the career trousers or slacks that are made to feel like yoga pants. That's the texture of these. And when I looked up comps, those were doing pretty well. So we'll see how that does. Let's see, what's this? This was kind of an impulse buy. I didn't comp it and I'm probably gonna regret that, but I haven't ever found this brand before. It's a Scada. It's a size 42. And it is just a pencil skirt. It is a solid red, really good condition, good size, so figured we'd give it a shot. This is definitely a piece that's not gonna sell quickly if I had to guess. It's gonna sit for a minute, just kind of like, St. John and brands like that do. We'll see how that does. I think you guys saw this in the Thrift With Me portion. I was so excited to find this. I've only found it one other time, and it's not like a mega bolo, but it's definitely one I'd keep an eye out for. It's called Wooden Ships. This one, I think the last one I found was like a graphic. It was definitely the same material, like a loose open knit, but I think it had like either a graphic picture or like a spell out of something on the front. And it sold pretty well. I want to say like around 40 or 50 pretty quickly. So this one's just a plain gray, so it definitely won't do as well as, like the novelty graphic, but still super excited to find it. It's rare that I find that. I think I've only found it one other time. So this was interesting. I don't always look at the ties, but like in depth, but I did glance over and I saw this fun print. It was like a hunting dog. Let's see. I feel like such a legit YouTuber when I put my hand in front of my face because I've watched people do it for years. But anyways, Yeah, it's just a hunting dog that has like a duck in its mouth, and that just screamed expensive to me for some reason. So I looked up the brand, and it was Bird Dog Bay, man's best friend. And I want to say that comps for this ties in this brand were running around like $25 to $35, and when you're paying $2.99, I'll take that. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we'll see how that does. Let's see, what did that say? And it's 100% silk. So let's see, just a few more items. I think you saw this one in my Thrift With Me portion as well, but I love picking up figs. It doesn't sell, it doesn't garner the same return that it used to, but it still sells. You know, there's always going to be people working in the, you know, healthcare field, medical field that need scrubs, and figs is like, I think what I'd consider like the Lululemon of the scrub world. I mean, I don't wear scrubs for my job, so I can't say for sure, but all of the nicer, you know, doctor's offices that I've ever been to, like everyone's decked out in scrubs. So I've kind of just come to that conclusion on my own. But yeah, this one's a size large. It's from the Technical collection, and I'll have to do some research to see what the style is, but it was in excellent condition. I found this brand quite a bit, you know, with significant staining, and I typically leave them behind when they're super flawed like that. But all right, let's see. All right, so I found a J. Crew collaboration with Liberty Fabrics, and every time I've ever picked up that collaboration, Liberty Fabrics, I don't know if they do their own clothing as well, but they definitely make like these beautiful floral, like mixed print fabrics. And I know they've done collaborations with J. Crew and maybe a couple others in the past, but people really seek out Liberty Fabrics. So every time I find a J. Crew piece with Liberty Fabrics, I pick it up as long as it's, you know, priced reasonably. It's have like a cute little like cinched wrist, like bubble sleeve. So yeah, that should do pretty well. All right. Also found this Ted Baker top. If this were just like a smaller size, I probably would not have picked it up, but it's a size 4, and I think they do vanity sizing if I remember correctly. So my guess is a size 4 is like an XL or an XXL. I'll look up the size chart and put it on the screen for reference, but they have these cute ties. I am gonna have to lint roll this because, you know, when they have ties hanging down, they get all dusty and nasty, but I should be able to get that off with a lint roller. It's got like a button closure in the back, and that's what all of this is too. If you saw that on the front, it's all just lint, so it'll all come off. So anyways, yeah, pick that up because it's in a bigger size. You know, Ted Baker is a good brand. It retails for quite a bit, but it does not bring in a return like it used to, so I am pretty selective with it. All right, what is this? Oh yeah, this is just good bread and butter. This was half off of $6.24. And it's just a Torrid vest. Black, kind of drapey, great condition, solid back. So yeah, this, I mean, it won't bring a lot, maybe like 20 to 28 if I had to guess, but since it was half off, couldn't talk myself out of it. All right, 2 more items. Both are shoes. So up first is a pair of tried and true Bionic Beach. I've sold the Bionic Beach line. You know what? I think it was recently that I found it, so I haven't sold it yet. I don't even know if it's listed yet. It may be in the dock to get listed, but Bionic sells great for me. So I assume that Bionic Beach is gonna do just as good. So I paid $5.99 for these, and they're just kind of like a slip-on sandal with a like foam base. So yeah, we'll look up comps, see what they're showing. Excellent condition, so hopefully those will do well. I wish I had a way to do a drum roll for this last piece. So I've heard, I wanna say it's PNW Reselling, Pacific Northwest Reselling on Instagram, that posts about this brand all the time. Obviously it's a brand that's found in the North quite often, and she always finds them in like trashed condition and they still sell well. So when I saw this, can you see that? I freaked out. So this is my first pair of Blundstone. Let me see if it'll be easier to see that. But yeah, this is my first pair of Blundstone. They are in excellent condition. I mean, like hardly any scuffs. Like I think that might be the worst of it. Excellent condition. They're not steel toe or any, they're not like a, I don't think they're like a work boot, but I mean, these were barely worn. They're a size 8. I'll have to do some research on if it's men or women's. It says leather upper, T2U sole. Don't know what that means, but we'll look it up. It says it's from Tasmania, Australia. Genuine leather upper, synthetic lining, and sole. So yeah, very excited about this find. I was just casually chilling on the rack, and when I saw that on the side of the boot, I was like, is this happening? And then when I put them in my cart and looked them over, I was like, yeah, this is happening. So absolutely thrilled. My guess is I'll get over $100 for these based off of the comps that I've seen her post on her ones that are in like very worn condition. So looking forward to looking comps up for that. I'll put it on the screen for you guys. So that is definitely a bolo in any condition, any size, any shape, obviously like within reason. Like there can't be a gaping hole in the big toe area, but you know, if it's just scuffs, dirt, you know, wear like that, I would still pick it up because they sell for quite a bit. So absolutely stoked about those. Should I have been thrifting? No, I still have more stuff in my death pile, but I did, however, get everything from my last thrift haul listed. And as you guys know, my new parameters for myself are as long as I get everything from my previous thrift trip listed fully, then I'm allowed to thrift again. So, you know, obviously not working on acquiring a death pile again. I am actually working pretty quickly through my death pile. I do have a virtual assistant that does my listings for me, and she was on a 2.5 week vacation, and I think I got 15 listings up in that entire 2.5 weeks. So that is just something that I've done for my business. You know, a lot of people don't want to pay for it, and I get that. I didn't want to either, but I also very quickly learned that I can't make money if I don't list things. Like the algorithm, you have to feed the algorithm by listing consistently. And with my full-time job and, you know, other life things that I have going on, I just was not putting in the time, or I didn't feel like I had the time to put in to list items consistently, like doing the research for the details and putting in specifics and finding stock photos and things like that. So I pay her about an average of $1.50 per item to list. And on like, you know, a $25 piece, that feels like a lot, but I have so many like $50+ items that I feel like it ends up, you know, washing out. So for me, for my personal business, it's worth it. And that is something, there's 2 things that I think are worth paying for. One is Poshmark BA and one is a lister. So, you know, I fully support anybody who outsources everything, and I also fully support anybody who does everything by themselves. You know, we're all different. All of our circumstances are different, and I think, you know, whatever works for you is great. So anyways, that wraps up this first thrift with me and haul. Hopefully the next one that I do, I will plan a little bit better, so I will have some makeup on my face and my hair won't look like a rat's nest, but you know, we're just working with what we got at this point. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a good day.